Well, it's that time, folks. A new prediction video. This time, we're doing the first prediction/analysis of the 2024 House elections. That's right. We're going to be discussing the House today because there is an opportunity for Republicans or Democrats to have a serious shot of taking the House in 2024. Now, as everybody knows, Republicans currently have this House majority, but it is very slim, and there's many question marks about can Republicans seriously hold on to the House. And today we'll be discussing what is the current state of the 2024 House elections. Now, before we continue, I hope you enjoy these type of videos. If you do, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the Twitter account in the description down below. And you know what to do. If you click that big, beautiful blue join button down below, just for 10 cents a day, you could join Real American Politics. Only 10 cents a day. That's a phenomenal deal to help support the daily content on this channel. So I hope you enjoy and join the channel today for the daily content. All right, let's get into today's video. The 2024 House map as of January 8th, 2023. Now, a lot of people are going to say, oh, your House prediction was so bad in 2022, I did it, and all this other stuff. Well, guess what? There were two reasons why my House predictions were kind of off in 2022. Number one, I projected R+5 generic ballot. It was closer to like R+2.5, R+3. If you make that adjustment, I would have had around 230, 220 in the House for Republicans. So that's a bit more accurate than the 240 that I had in my original prediction. Secondly, I admit I let others influence my predictions a tad too much. So this time around, I'm still going to take into account some people's opinions, but I'm just going to look purely at the data, what we saw in 2022, and adjust for turnout differences in 2024, etc. So that's how we're going to do it. It's going to be my opinion, not somebody just influencing what I'm going to do. So let's do it. Let's start. So these are the 33 House seats that I'm going to be discussing. Now, there's an argument to be made about a couple other House seats. Are they more competitive than expected? These are just the ones that you can make a serious argument about for potentially going either way. Now, there's a couple of them you could quite frankly say these are really obvious how they're going to go, but I do want to discuss them because you never know. We learned from 2022, you gotta expect the unexpected. So let us start in the great state of Alaska. Guys, I hate to break this to you guys, but at this point in time, I think the state of Alaska is gone for the Republicans at the congressional level. I think it's gone. I mean, Patola would have won by 10 points against Palin or Bigich. That's how badly Republicans have got it in the state of Alaska. We're not going to spend much time here. Unless it's some phenomenal candidate. You know, you may have to run the governor and have a serious shot of winning. That stupid system they got in Alaska, it's going to screw us over. It's going to screw us over for a while now. So hopefully that gets changed. But for now, the ranked choice voting, not going to help us. So the state of Alaska, I think, will hold for the Democrats. Arizona, there are two major House races we got to discuss. Arizona 6 and Arizona 1st. Now, I think in Arizona 6, the Republicans will hold on to the seat. Biggest reason being is Republicans have a decent candidate there in Cisimani, and this is slightly trending a bit Republican. And I do think in 2024, this is a hot take. I think Republicans will do better in the state of Arizona as a whole. I think you will see some improvements in a district like Arizona 6. Now, Arizona 1st, on the other hand, it's going to be close. It is going to be David Schweikert's hardest fight yet. And as of now, I do think it's going to be a very competitive seat that Schweikert will hold on to. And I almost forgot. I forgot to have Nebraska second as competitive. But anyways, so Arizona, I think Schweikert's going to hold on as of now. It's going to be close, but I think at the end of the day, he will hold on for dear life. Now we got the state of California. There are a couple House seats that Republicans are not, I don't think, going to hold on to. The biggest one, I think, being is California 13th. You know, Duarte, he did better than I expected. Way better than expected. But I think in a general election, he's not favored. I think what won him in 2022 was lower than usual Hispanic turnout. Now, does that mean Hispanics were turnout at 70% like a certain somebody said? No. But I think Republicans still have a problem in California 13. But we do got to see. Now, as for some of these other seats, I think Valadao, he's going to hold on to California 22nd. Garcia, he will hold on. I don't think he's going to win by 6 points again, but I think he'll win by 2 to 3 points. He's built up a machine in California 27th. I doubt he loses anytime soon. I think he's going to hold on until, well, yeah, he basically can't run again. So there's that. Michelle Steele, I just don't think she's going to be that trouble. That's why I'm not really discussing her. Now, California 41st, on their hand. Ken Calvert, look, this guy is awful. The fact that this clown nearly lost in 2020 or 2022, considering how much the Los Angeles area swung Republican, it's pretty pathetic what this guy did. But I think at the end of the day, with more than likely a neutral national environment, I do think Calvert will hold on barely, but he will hold on at the end of the day for Republicans. So that is a hold for Republicans. I don't know how long he's going to hold on for. He may retire, which may actually be a good thing. So yeah, there's that in the great state of California. Now, Colorado, there's one seat in particular that's competitive. Colorado 13th. There's data to prove that Boebert, she got dragged down by the clown O'Day, another loser that ran for governor. There's evidence to point to the fact that both of them lost this district. I don't know if that's 100% true, but considering some of the swings we saw in 2022 in Colorado, I wouldn't be shocked. So I think Boebert just got dragged down by crap candidates. And I do think whoever the Republican is, barring it being somebody like John Bolton, I think Republicans will hold on to the district fairly easily. Now, Colorado 8th. There's 2 points of evidence to say that Kirkmeyer got effed over by the Libertarians and the top of the ballot. I mean, come on. You cannot seriously say that O'Day did not drag down Kirkmeyer when he did pathetic in Colorado. Even the suburbs, there are parts of the suburbs he did worse than Trump in. O'Day was supposed to be an electoral juggernaut. So I do think with all this in mind, Republicans should potentially pick off Colorado 8th. It will be close, but I do think there is an opportunity for a pickoff in the state of Colorado. Iowa, I think none's going to hold on. He did win by a very close margin, but he is now the incumbent, which it appears incumbency played a big factor in this election. And you look at how the swings in the other Iowa districts happened, 3-4 points Republican. I do think the reason this was such a small swing was Axne was still an incumbent. There was an incumbency advantage this cycle. It's clear from a lot of these swings. There was a huge incumbency advantage. And I think none will hold on in the state of Iowa. So there's that. Maine, I'm just going to put that there. Republicans, they are not going to win Maine second if Golden's on the ballot. It's just a fact. He ain't losing. Trust me, this guy is not going to lose. Now, Maine second, if Golden doesn't run, you have an argument. But for now, I think Maine second will be Democrat. Now we got the 3 competitive seats. I forgot John James' seat. Sorry about that, everybody. The 3 competitive seats in Michigan. Michigan 8th, 7th, and the 10th. Now, I do think we're going to pick off one of these. 7th or the 8th. We're for sure going to pick off one of these. I'm assuming Slotkin, there's rumors going around she's going to run. I think we do pick off Michigan 7th at the end of the day. And I do think in Michigan you had a problem with white working class voters not turning out for Republicans. I don't care if people say, oh, turnout was so good in Michigan. Well, you look at some of the precinct data, there's some evidence to say that a lot of this turnout wasn't favorable to Republicans. So I do think Slotkin is going to run for that Senate seat. I do think that gives us a free pickup opportunity. Now, this loser in Michigan 8th, Kildee, he's not going to lose for a while. We'll be lucky to take him out, within the next decade. But he'll be in a closer race because of the fact you're going to have a presidential election. Turnout will be higher. And I do think that's what hurt Republicans in Michigan 8th, plus the top of the ticket just collapsing. So there is that. And compared to Michigan 7th did not swing that dramatic to the left compared to Michigan 8th. So I think that's a reasonable assumption. And John James, he did underperform expectations in Michigan's 10th. I mean, it's 1.5-point Democrat. But you look at the third-party votes, you look at where they came from, there's more evidence to say that, again, third parties did play a factor. Not everything, but they did play a factor in Republicans underperforming in many House races. I do think Republicans will hold on in Michigan 10th. It is a part of the country that is swinging dramatically Republican. Republicans just crap the bed in Michigan this cycle. So I think that's what happened in the great state of Michigan. Now we got Montana. Oh boy. There's no reason for this to be close. I hope Zinke gets primary out. The fact that he nearly lost this district, I mean, come on, it's won 4 points Democrat. It's a total joke what happened here. There's no reason for this to happen. It's going to be Republican just because of top of the ballot. That's literally the only reason it's going to be Republican. Now, if Zinke runs again and something crazy happens, we could lose it. But if we run somebody with 5 brain cells in Montana first, we won't lose this. That's why get rid of Zinke. He's a liability. But even then, I think Zinke would still hold on in the state of Montana's first. Now we got Nebraska, the great state of Nebraska. I do think Don Bacon's in trouble. I think his performance, which, yes, he did 9 points better than Trump in Nebraska's second, but many people thought he was going to do 10 to 13 points better. This was a big underperformance concerning the circumstances. I mean, he usually overperformed Trump a bit more than that. And I do think the trends in Nebraska's second are going to kick in and kick him out of office eventually. So the great state of Nebraska will have a Democrat representative more than likely. Now we got Nevada. And the reason that these are all marked safe is the fact that I think Republicans, they're not going to win Nevada third, and they're more than likely not going to win Nevada first. Ironically, I think the most room for improvement is in Nevada fourth. But even then, I do think it leans Democrat for now. The fact that Sam Peters had no funding, no help whatsoever from the national GOP, got outspent quite a bit. The fact he nearly took out Horsford, I know he's not the best candidate, but the fact is, it's swung the most Republican. Even then, I do want to see what else happens. Is there an opportunity for a flip here? Absolutely. I just want to see if things happen in Nevada fourth. Hopefully, Peters runs again and actually gets help this time. So yeah, the great state of Nevada, we have a chance. Now, New Hampshire first. I'm just putting this lean. Another thing with New Hampshire this cycle is how much of it was the top of the ticket just sucking. I mean, they got crushed. And how much of it is the New Hampshire trends really kicking in. I think it's a mixture of both. It's not safe Democrat, but I'm not saying it's, likely Republican at all. I think it is leaning towards the Democrats as of now. New Jersey. We have a single seat in New Jersey 7th. This was Malinowski's seat. This is Tom Keene. He's pretty crappy. The fact is, this was an underperformance by most metrics. He should have done a lot better than winning by only 2. But even then, I think it still is leaning towards the Republicans. You are seeing some significant movement towards Republicans in New York City, in northern New Jersey, outside of New Jersey 8th. You are seeing some significant movement towards Republicans in many parts of New Jersey. So I do think that you will see Tom Keene hold on in 2024. Again, he's not that good, but you just got to deal with what you got to deal with. So there's that in New Jersey 7. New Mexico 2nd. Oh, this hurts. This hurts bad. Harrell was a good candidate. I just think the partisan lean of this district really screwed her over. I mean, she did 5 points better than Trump did in 2020. The redistricting nonsense in this state is just absurd. They should have kept the old districts. I don't know why, but this is what happens when you have clowns running the redistricting process. I mean, seriously, this is probably the least fair, least compact possible map of New Mexico you can make. It was a joke. The old map was fine. I don't get why they needed to do this, but it sucks. I still think Democrats are favored to win New Mexico 2nd in 2024, though I think Republicans will make improvements. I just don't think it's enough. Now we got New York. I got one thing to say before we get into the rest of New York. There's one district in particular. Let's see here. I wonder who I'm talking about. Oh, George Santos. Yeah, I don't think he's going to win. I think this is a pickup for the Democrats. Same thing in New York 4th. I think these two are pickups for the Democrats. I mean, how much of these Republicans' performance was because of Zeldin and how much it was because of Trent? Now, I don't think all of this was just because of Zeldin. I mean, if this was just Zeldin, you wouldn't see a 20-point shift in all these districts. I mean, including parts not even Long Island. So I do think there is some evidence to say that these trends are actually happening. But for now, I cannot make the reasonable assumption that these two districts hold for the Republicans. And same thing in District 17, though I actually think that Republicans actually have a decent shot of holding here. They took out Maloney, one of the most powerful people in the Democrat Party. It is a close race, and I do think right now he's leaning Democrat. Just, that entire collapse by Maloney was funny, but I don't know how much of it is going to hold for Republicans. If it does hold, if the trends that we saw in 2022 continue, Republicans have potential to hold on to all of these seats and potentially pick up one in New York 18th. But any other case, I do think we do, however, hold on to New York 19th and New York 22nd. Republicans, there are actual signs and trends in a lot of these counties, a lot of these parts of the state. And New York 19th has a very solid candidate in Mark Molinaro. And New York 22nd has Brandon Williams. Pretty good candidate. And again, I think New York 22nd will be hard to hold on to. But New York 19th, I think Molinaro has learned his lessons and will hold on as long as he really wants to, honestly, barring a blue wave. But yeah, there's that in this great state of New York. Now we got North Carolina. And I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, well, all these districts swung Democrat. You see here, they swung Democrat. You know, swung bit Republican, swung a bit Republican. Why are you talking about this? Because we're going to get new maps in this state. And while I think North Carolina 6 will still be Democrat, the old maps pretty much made it where these two districts here in North Carolina 13th and the 1st, they are probably going to go Republican if it actually happens. If the redistricting happens like we hope it does, which it probably should, Republicans have a serious opportunity to pick up both these states. I mean, Sandy Smith did a lot better than a lot of people expected. While Bo Hines kind of just underperformed quite a bit. And these were Biden districts. If these were Trump districts, there's a chance both these guys win. That's how crazy it was, crazy close we were of picking off a couple state districts in the state of North Carolina. Now we got Ohio. This is kind of similar to what we saw in 2022. We had a map that it's just, we got to change the map here. Now, will it happen? Hard to say. The reason being is we have clowns in the Ohio GOP. You know, they voted for a freaking moderate Republican. Give me a break. But either way, I 100% believe in Ohio 13. Republicans will win this seat. It was just a crappy candidate. Plus, turnout was under expected than I should say everybody did not expect turnout to be this bad in some of these precincts. And I do think the Democrat is a weak candidate. She just went against frickin' Gilbert, who's not that strong of a candidate. Should have never been the nominee. There's warning signs when she nearly lost to a no-name candidate in the primary with everybody's endorsement. Now, as for Ohio 1st, that's gone. Barring redistricting, that district is just gone for the GOP. If Steve Chabot wasn't able to hold on this cycle, you basically can't win it. He lost by 6. Dear Lord. That's with Vance on the ballot, mind you. Vance did good in the Cincinnati area. So it is an underperformance, but it is what it is. Now, Ohio 9th, this just saddens me. Majewski got absolutely effed over in this situation. Plus, Capter has an incumbency advantage. He's been there for 40-some years. But the fact that RNC just abandoned Majewski for fake allegations of not actually serving the military, which, by the way, the clown that reported that, yeah, he got fired. But either way, Majewski got effed over. But I still do not think Democrats will lose Ohio 9 anytime soon if Capter's still there. If she retires, yeah, you got a chance of winning, but we do got to see what happens. Now, the great state of Oregon. We have, I think, a surprisingly good Republican in this district. Yes, we had a Republican with a significant pickup in Oregon this cycle. Chavez DeRemer. She is a weird candidate. She's in a suburban district of Portland, yet she ran kind of an America First campaign. Look at what she focused on. She ran America First candidacy in a Portland suburb, and she won by 2 points. Now, this was against a Bernie bro that took out, Schrader. But either way, I think Remmer will hold on if the environment is a neutral environment as of now. That means it was R+2 this cycle. If it's R+0 or even D+1, I think Republicans will hold on to the seat. It will be close, but I do think they would hold on in most scenarios. Now we got the state of Pennsylvania. We're making progress. We are making progress in northeastern Pennsylvania. Now, I think Cartwright, I think he's done. I think if you have Trump or DeSantis on the ballot, he's just done. This was his worst performance in a long time. I mean, usually he does 10 points, or I think it's 8, 9, 10 points better than the top of the ticket. He only did 5 points better than Biden. With whoever's on the ballot runs, whoever it is, Trump or DeSantis, I think you will have higher turnout and you will have more Republican voters turn out because this was a problem. You had Dr. Oz, which really did not excite the base as much as we were expecting, which in hindsight, I guess it kind of makes sense because clowns like Barnett are saying liberal Republican. But either way, I think Cartwright will lose in 2022. Susan Wild, I think it's a matter of time. But for now, I just need to see who runs against her. I mean, Wild, she may be in a better situation than Cartwright because she is in a bit more of a Biden-friendly seat. But I do think Cartwright is done in 2022 as of now. Now, the great state of Virginia. We have 2 districts. Virginia 2nd and Virginia 7th. Virginia 7th, Spanberger, she held on. I think she will hold on in 2024. As for Virginia 2nd, we took out Luria. Kiggins won. I think Kiggins holds on in Virginia 2nd. It's not much to say there. I mean, Virginia Beach area is showing signs of Republican trends. Virginia 7th, I just think it depends on the candidate and all that stuff. Plus, if Glenn Youngkin is running for the Senate seat there, he may actually help Republicans in Virginia 7. So there's that. Now we have the final state that has, I would say, any significant competitive seats. Washington. Washington 3rd, to be exact. I think 100% Perez won on a fluke. She won by doing absolutely nothing. It's a Luigi meme. She did nothing. The Republican Party collapsed in Washington. The GOP in Washington, third collapse. You had a brutal primary. You had a candidate that, let's just say, did not perform to expectations. Not getting help from the national GOP. The GOP actually spending against Kent. And you get Perez winning. I think anybody with a pulse would beat Perez in 2024. And there's that. This is my current House map for 2024. I think Republicans, they actually pick up a couple seats. Now, I know there's some seats that you can make an argument about, like New York 19th, North Carolina 1st, etc. But I do think at the end of the day, Republicans will have a House majority after 2024. I think they actually do expand a little bit. There are some obvious signs that a lot of these, Democrat gains, they were one-offs. And I just do not think Democrats will be able to replicate what happened in 2024, what happened in 2022. I mean, there was some incompetence beyond belief in 2022. Plus, I do think the whole talk of red wave, it did make some voters just not care or vote because, oh, we're going to win no matter what. Well, that didn't happen. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching this video. We'll see you guys in the next video. Godspeed to all of you.